refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Woo! Welcome to Refuse to Lose Sports. My name is Joe Jordan. We have a great episode for y'all today. As you can see, we got a full panel in the house. Everybody's here. But before I introduce my co-host, the superstars, I got to let y'all know what we're going to talk about today. Obviously, the NFL draft ended, but we know the biggest story in the NFL draft is Shedeur Sanders. He dropped all the way to the 5th round, and we got to react to it because we had some crazy reactions when certain QBs got drafted live on air on that. So we got to talk about that. I'm curious to see what my bros got to say about that. 2 teams, bring out the brooms. Okay, sweep. I say, okay, sweep. There you go. Okay, sweep. The Memphis Grizzlies and the Cleveland Cavaliers put out the dustpan and put Miami Heat inside that. So we got to react to that. And there are 2 teams that are up 3-1. We got the Golden State Warriors who are beating the Rockets, and we got the T-Wolves might beat the Lakers. And shout out to Uncle Shay. We got to react to that, those teams being up and down 3-1. But like I said, as promised, I got 2 of my bros on me. I got Davey Dollars here. He went live last night, so make sure y'all go check out his episode, right? King of the Doghouse. And we got Missy Goodon's son, Tomo, co-host of In the Red Corner. They have an episode dropping this week. But look, how y'all doing, fellas?
I'm doing great. Steven Castle was just named Rookie of the Year. But go ahead, Tomo.
I'm actually 3 from 3 so far, but I ain't, yeah. Who you thought was gonna be, Tomo? Your boy?
Yeah, of course. He had one dude in the little All-Star weekend. He go off, and now everybody forget that Alex Saw. Anyway, man. Anyway, I was gonna say this, man. The backstage was listening to a song, man, and we up here, Dave, and we always ask the people to donate, right? Because we be with J Money serving everybody. So I'm doing good, man. I'm here to have some fun, talk about some of these playoff games. How y'all doing?
I'm doing great, man. Unfortunately, the Miami Heat are not doing great, but I'm doing great. 49ers did a really good job. We re-signed George Kittle to a 4-year, $76 million deal, so feeling really good about that. I just can't wait to talk about these topics. Joe, we have some really good things to talk about, and we got to talk about Shedeur. You ain't even mentioned that. We got to talk about Shedeur Sanders, Joe. My man had to wait until the 5th round to get picked. Tyler Show was drafted before him, which is crazy. All I know is y'all at home on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Twitch better be tuned in because today is about to be fire. So let's turn up.
Turn me up, 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 up.
Jody, do your thing.
See, look, I had a shot to throw. I ain't gonna say who it was for, but I'm gonna be nice today. All right, I'm gonna calm down. I feel like everybody's in a good mood, so I'm gonna make sure I keep it that way. But like Dave said, we are streaming this not on 3, not on 4, 5 different platforms. We are streaming this on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and X. So make sure y'all like the video on all the platforms if you could. Make sure you subscribe and follow on all of our social media platforms. You can follow us everywhere at Refuse to Lose Sports, except for X and Twitch. They share a name, which is R2L Sports. Make sure y'all subscribe and follow to them. And share this video or episode, whatever you want to call it, with somebody that you know personally or anybody, so they could come on and watch this show live with you, because you could be involved in the show by being in the comment section. We can see all the comments y'all will be putting out throughout the show. Shout out to Daniel for being the first comment. Yo, appreciate you for being here early. I'm going to show the comment, right? And then secondly, my boy Carl in the comments, it was for Dave. You not slick, 55. Dang, he called you 55. Tyler Hero name. Hold on, let me see. Tyler Hero name should be banned. Woo! Tyler. Dave, you know you want to respond. Go ahead. You don't? We wait till the topic comes?
I will wait till the topic comes.
Okay. Yeah, Tyler Hero name. Tyler. I got an idea for that topic. I got an idea. Anyways, last but not least, enjoy the rest of the show. Tomo, floor is yours.
All right, and just like this was said, I don't know if you all were here last week, so if you wasn't, make sure you go back and check out the episode, because we were doing our recaps of the first round while the second round was actually live. And same face that Joe was kind of making, but he was a little bit more upset when he was making live, as we were seeing these quarterbacks get taken off the board left and right, left and right, left and right. And we were still trying to figure out when was Shedeur going to get drafted, right? But like this good song says, hey, yo, I'm slipping. I'm falling. He got to get back up so he can tear the league up. Shedeur finally got picked. What was that? At the Browns made the call with the 10th pick. No, they should have got him at the 10th pick. The Browns made the call at the 144th pick. After all the prank calls that was going around, and make sure y'all check out Dave's Doghouse, because he was talking about how many prank calls was happening that night. So it wasn't just Shedeur that got a prank call. It was some other folks too. But Joe, he finally got the call. No one think it was going to happen, right? Tell us your reaction to him getting picked in the 5th round.
Well, my reaction was, it's about time, basically. It was kind of like, I didn't care when he got drafted at this point. Like, this is drafted boy. That's where I was at. It went so far down the line. And I think ownership stepped in to get this pick done. And if he never stepped in, Shedeur probably would have went undrafted for real. I'm trying to think who would have drafted him. Maybe the Raiders, because Tom Brady. I don't know. But I'm glad he got drafted. But I had to sit back and think. And I was like, this situation ain't as bad as I thought it was. This could be, if you're a competitor, this is a great opportunity for Shedeur Sanders. Great opportunity. You were drafted in the 5th round, Tomo. X amount of quarterbacks got drafted before you, including the third pick in the including the 3rd round pick who got drafted before you on your own team. So there is way less pressure on Shedeur Sanders, right? He don't have to no more like live up to a pressure. Now he's on like the prove it type pressure. Like I gotta show y'all. It's not really proving it to them. It's proving it to himself that he belongs in the caliber of quarterbacks where he said he was, right? Top 2. And listen, great stories. A lot of great stories start with a humble beginning. Look at Tom Brady, 6th round pick. He became the GOAT. I know Michael Jordan was the 3rd overall pick, but he came into the big man's league. They said God couldn't win the championship. Can it go? I mean, if I got to take a biblical, Joseph, the son of Jacob, the man got sold as slaves by his own brother and became the second hand to the king in Egypt. That's crazy. David was a keeper of the sheep, the youngest of the crew. He became King David. Jesus himself was born basically in a barn. I mean, come on now. So humble beginnings is great for the story. So here's a redemption right here, y'all. Here's a redemption. The Browns owner, he goes out. He has Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield wins my playoff game. I didn't do my research, but it's been a long time since the Browns won a playoff game. What's a playoff game? Against the Steelers. And then OBJ comes. They bump heads. What he do? He goes out and pays Deshaun Watson fully guaranteed contract, first time in NFL history. Not first time, because Kirk Cousins got a few of them, but the biggest fully guaranteed contract in NFL history. and then gets rid of Baker. Deshaun Watson's trash. Joe Flacco comes in, lead you to the playoffs. You let him walk. You go with Deshaun again, trash. You come out and made the statement and say, you know what? I made a mistake. So what do? You go back and go get Joe Flacco. You know what? We need a backup quarterback. You go and get Kenny Pickett. All right? Your GM and your coach go get Gabriel, and you like, nah. Get him right now. Go get my boy Sanders. So what's the redemption? Not just for Sanders, for the owner. Sanders could come in here. It might not be this year. It might not be. But even next year, if he comes in and turn this franchise around, who is in the dumps? We all know the Browns were Brown, the mistake by the lake. Isn't that what you say, Tomo? Yeah, they are a bad of a franchise. If he comes to Cleveland and turn it around, not only the Sanders will look good, the owner would too. It will make up for the mistake he made with Deshaun Watson because it was his call to get Shedeur Sanders. So I think Shedeur is in a really good situation that he could have like a redemption situation where people could look at his story and be like, man, I want to be like that. So Shedeur, if I'm you, keep praising God like you are. He has a plan for you, but make sure you execute that plan.
My bad, Joe was talking today. Okay, Joe, get ready for this topic.
Now, Joe, I know you said something without saying something, and it's funny that you said it the way you said it. I mean, it was written. That's what they say. It was written. Dave's show was called what? The Doghouse. And Dave in the Bible did what? He was the keeper of sheep. I'm just saying how you put two and two together without even putting two and two together. But I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying that was a good one there. Look. There you go. Do the math. But you got Jackson Dart, Tyler So, Jalen Monroe, then Dylan Gabriel, who shares the room with him. So it's just like, bruh, there's no way that this was supposed to happen. But again, you've seen the tweets, you've seen the reaction, you've seen the backlash, you've seen the people pick sides on the media saying, well, he failed because he's not a generational talent. He failed because of the circus that comes with him. He failed because of this. He failed because of that. But these were the same people 2 days ago saying this is insane that he's actually falling this far in the draft. I can't believe that he's falling this far. So it's like, which side is it? Is it falling because of this, or is it a travesty that he is falling? I don't know. Make up your mind. But to me, it was one of those things where the Browns definitely said, we made a mistake 4 rounds. We made a mistake when we gave a quarterback this amount of money. We're not going to make this mistake, and we're just going to pick him up because at the end of the day, it's a 5th round pick. And everything that Joe said is kind of in Shedeur's favor, where it's like, one, you still have to make the team. Yes, you have to make the team. But if it all works out, cap space, building a team around him, he already got the media presence that's going to come behind it. But he has to beat out Joe Flacco. Kenny Pickett. Dylan's going to be there because I think they're going to pair these two together for a while, and maybe they'll find a way to get a trade partner with Deshaun. I don't know. Maybe this quarterback room is to motivate Deshaun to actually say, you know what, I got to get my stuff together because Kevin Stefanski is still there, and the offense is going to be the offense. I even hear that they're trying to bring Nick Chubb back. So there's some things that's actually going down with the Browns. I got to grow up. But there's some things that's going down with the Browns that's trying to turn this franchise around just a little bit. They're not going to be on the same caliber of the other teams. And when I say other teams, I'm also talking about the Ravens and the Bengals because we still got to figure out who's going to be the quarterback for the Steelers. But again, we already know the pecking order in the AFC North. It starts with the Ravens, Bengals. Then it's Steelers. I can't say the Browns right now because I don't know. It might be a toss-up between them and the Steelers because we don't know who the quarterback's going to be. Yes, they say Deshaun, but again, at the end of the day, if Shedeur can go in and make his presence known the same way he has since high school, since Jackson State and Colorado, the Browns may have won with this one.
And before they go, I think Joe Flacco QB1 right now. Deshaun might be out for the year.
Mm-hmm. Not the way he working out on Instagram.
Oh, for real? Oh,
he working all he want. He not gonna be playing on. He not gonna be on the field.
Yeah, he just tore his Achilles. He tore it. He out for a while.
Well, why he working out like that? What's that, rehab?
We're trying to get Instagram like
gotta be.
Probably rehab.
Gotta be rehab because he ain't playing. You know what? Y'all have y'all have some really good perspectives on this thing when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. I want y'all to look at it on the other side. That was something that I thought about today.
Okay.
What was something that we were hearing during this pre-draft process? Shedeur Sanders basically made it seem like he was the thing. Like he was the hot thing coming into the NFL. And if you look at what he's done in his college career, you could say that hey, he was a pretty good quarterback. But was he like the quarterback? Was he that coveted by a lot of teams where teams was like, I just gotta have him? Because if you look at it, we compared him to some other quarterbacks, but these other quarterbacks were Heisman candidates, or those quarterbacks were Heisman finalists. You look at Baker Mayfield, yeah, he has some issues, but he was a Heisman finalist. You look at Johnny Manziel, I mean, the things he did at Texas A&M was crazy. Shedeur Sanders wasn't doing that. Now, this is not to say Shedeur Sanders was not a good quarterback, because I believe he was good. I believe he was the second best, if not the best. I mean, the best quarterback. I believe he was the best quarterback in the draft. But according to NFL people before it led to the pre-draft interviews and everything, he was at least the second best quarterback. But you also hear about his interviews. They say his interviews did not go well. There's a process that happens in the when it comes to quarterbacks. They're going to ask you about your bad plays. They said during his bad plays, he didn't want to talk about them. He basically just dismissed them. And he said that, well, he basically made it seem like if you're not going to draft me, just say it. Like, he wasn't trying to explain nothing about his bad plays. And there was even one team that really wanted Shedeur Sanders, and he basically just said he didn't explain it. I think there was something about an interview he had with Brian Daboll. And Brian Daboll didn't like his answers. Now, Brian Daboll doesn't come off to me as a coach that would necessarily, dismiss a player, because he didn't do that with Daniel Jones. Who are we gonna pick between Daniel Jones and Shedeur Sanders? I'm picking Shedeur Sanders every single time. I'm picking Shedeur every single time. And this is the same guy who helped Josh Allen get to where he is. So I think he pretty much knows what he's talking about when it comes to quarterbacks, kind of, sort of. Now, the Browns. This would have made a lot more sense if he was drafted before Dillon Gabriel. What was the point of drafting Dillon Gabriel if you're going to go ahead and go draft Shedeur Sanders? And then after he got drafted, they were just in there like this.
Emotional damage.
They didn't care. They didn't really want him. And then we got news that came out yesterday or the day before that the owners pretty much said, don't draft him, take him off the draft board. They didn't like his interview process. I understand that we defended Shedeur Sanders this entire time. I put the NFL in the doghouse on my show because of what happened to Shedeur Sanders. But you have to look at the other side. You got to understand why he fell. People feel like he wasn't that good of a quarterback. And then his last game in the bowl game, he looked bad. In that bowl game, he looked terrible. Now, I get it. His offensive line was bad all season long. But you can't go into the bowl game and that be your last. That's the last thing they saw. The last thing on tape they see is the bad game you had against them. You didn't do your pro day wasn't that much. You didn't practice in the Senior Bowl. You went at the NFL Combine, so they didn't see anything to give them more to further
information.
Give them further information to say that hey, I deserve to be at least the second quarterback drafted overall. Now, like I said, I believe he should have been the second quarterback drafted overall, but I believe if he handled this process a little bit differently, I don't think we having this conversation right now.
You said something about Brian Daboll and him having an interview. I love that Hard Knocks all season, and I love the fact that the Giants was on there because I think it's funny that you brought up him, and we can go find that clip of him talking to Jaden Daniels. And all he asked Jaden Daniels to do was erase the Z and replace it with a X, and then tell me what you want to do after that. And Jaden Daniels' answer was score a touchdown.
Touchdown. Yes, sir.
And then they proceeded to have conversations and say, yeah, the Jaden Daniels kid, he's nice, but and it's like, what do you mean, but? Oh, he told you exactly what you wanted out of that play, and you just like, yeah, he just doesn't seem like our type of quarterback. And I feel like that's exactly. I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's probably what happened with Shedeur. He gave him that confidence answer, and they was like, yeah, he's confident, but we can go somewhere else with the pick, and they did. They went with Abdul Carter, and then they circled back and got Jackson Dart for whatever reason. But yeah, I'm with you on that though, Dave. I like the angle that you took.
At least with Jaden Daniels was the Heisman Trophy winner.
He did.
That's also that, like I said, that's something that Shedeur just didn't have. Shedeur didn't put anything good on tape for his last viewing to say, hey, that's the guy. So
yeah. And if you gonna hold a Heisman candidate to that stature, then I get where you're coming from with the Shedeur one. So okay. But Brian,
I definitely understand and agree. I agree with you though. I do think that he was acting too high of his status was higher than his play. Let me say that. Like, because think about it. Adam Schefter said that the best quarterback in this draft, Cam Ward, they say, will be the 7th best quarterback from last year. And they got Shedeur too. And I don't fully agree with that statement, you know what I mean? But I don't think he's better than Caleb. I don't think he's better than Jaden Daniels. And Bo Nix, he probably, to me, I think he's better than Bo Nix, take the truth. But Bo Nix got the running dynamic. He's more athletic. That's probably why people like Bo Nix more. But Shedeur Sanders, he never had an offensive line. They threw the ball a lot. A lot of people think the stats are inflated because all they did was throw the ball. You know what I mean?
He had no run game.
Yeah, he did have Travis Hunter, you know what I mean? But still, he did his part. He played and he put good tape out. But him, and I also heard things about teams that he didn't want to get drafted by. He was kind of like,
yeah, he was purposely trying to make sure that they don't draft him.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like stuff like that. I saw a clip when Dion was on the talk show, and he said, and they asked him, "Are you gonna intervene?" He said, "That's my son." But they were talking like everybody was chasing Shedeur. That's how they would talk, like he was a Caleb Williams. You know what I mean? Like, but that wasn't the case. So that's why I think it's a humbling experience. And I like how he's responding in the media. And y'all saw what Shallow said. I had to get me an agent because it ain't working out with my dad being my agent.
Shallow was a star throughout this process.
He said, "I find my dad."
Shallow was a star throughout this whole process, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he was hilarious. He's like, man, they draft you. Yeah, I don't know where I'm gonna go. And look, he went undrafted. So
that was him saying that.
He on the team though. Who he signed with? Who was it?
With the Bucks.
The Bucks, yeah. So shout out to him though.
Isn't his agent Drew Rosenhaus or something like that?
I think so.
Crazy.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, you got to make the team. I mean, for most people, they treat 5th. Some people say 5th, 6th, 7th rounders are probably not going to make the team. They probably make the practice squad. So at the end of the day, the journey doesn't stop because you got the phone call. You got to work harder now.
Exactly. He got to work a lot harder now because there's no guarantee he's going to be on the roster.
Yeah.
And crazy thing is, some people were saying that maybe he should have stayed another year because he made more money in NIL than he's making this year in the NFL.
Also, keep in mind, he's also trying out for other teams too.
That's true.
So, but even the Browns release him, I'm pretty sure if he plays well in the preseason, which I think he will, because he's going to be going against the 3rd, 4th strings. So when he plays well in the preseason and looks good in training, because you know the media members going to be in that camps, that Browns camp, and they're going to be talking about Shedeur, how good he looks, if he's who he said he is, which I think he is. So I can't wait.
I definitely hope that he is.
Hey,
I hope that he is for sure.
Hey, if you're watching, I need you to free up your availability this whole off season, training camp, all that stuff, because we're going to need you to come on. We're going to talk about the Browns a lot. I got a feeling. So make sure you free up your schedule.
Never thought I'd see the day, but we here. Browns is actually going to be a part of the media cycle. This lets you know.
Tay gonna feel like a star. He was like, oh, me? Me?
I was telling somebody I work with. I was like, the 4-letter and 3-letter networks. They got the Cowboys, the Lakers, Yankees, and now Shedeur. It's about to be crazy. It's about to be crazy this whole season. But with that being said, I find it funny that I did bring up the Cowboys and you brought up he's interviewing for other teams because Dak and CD was at his draft party. But that's another story for another day. I don't know why y'all still there. Y'all need to be doing. Yeah, that's what it said. They was there. So it's maybe Jerry was about to make the call. But while he was trying to figure things out, so was Ja Morant. Well, no, Ja said he figured things out because that's what he said right after. Look up, Marlon. Say cheese. So we got an okay sweep. My man in a helicopter right now.
So, crazy over there.
Joe taking pictures over there.
Oh.
All right, while Joe figuring it out on his end, man, we gonna talk about the OK sweep that happened because OKC said, you know what, Ja not here, we gonna figure it out. But then Ja said he figured it out. I just told Ja that. But he told reporters that he believed that the series will be 2-2 right now, headed back to Oklahoma City for Game 5 if he had been healthy. And some people say it probably is a safe bet if he thinks of that, if he thinks it's that way. But then you look at the last game that closed out the series, it was 117-115, and OKC swept. Ja being hurt after the Memphis Grizzlies had a 29-point lead on OKC, which was fully healthy at the time. Some people call him crazy. I want to just add him to the list of people that we've called crazy all year. So we got Dak, Draymond, Tomo, Ja Morant. And this is just in the refuse to lose thing. This is what people have been calling everybody crazy. So Dak think the Cowboys is closer to the Eagles. Draymond guaranteed that the Warriors are going to win the finals. Tomo says Draymond is definitely crazy and Dak is crazy, so that's why I'm third. And Ja Morant saying that he figured things out. But it's really more so because Ja said he's fine in the West. And right after he said that, his career proceeded to not say that he's fine in the West. So Ja, this is another playoff series where you've been exited, but we're not going to worry too much about Memphis. We're going to talk a little bit about OKC because this is one of the dangerous teams in the West. But all these teams in the West, prior to the playoffs starting, we all kind of had it locked in. We were like, OKC is one of the best teams, and then it might be the Lakers, and then it might be the Clippers. But the way these playoffs have played out, it's looking like it's maybe a tie between OKC and the Clippers, and the Lakers is trying to figure some things out. But the Warriors, I mean, not the Warriors, because the Warriors is they Jimmy Butler or bust, and we'll talk about that series in just a second. But the way the Timberwolves are showing up, it's looking like we have to do some reordering of some things, and we'll talk about that series in a minute. But we kind of figured that this series would either go 5. No one actually seen a sweep. I thought they would at least get one game out of it, and they almost had that one game, but Ja got hurt. So, again, hats off to Memphis for giving the Wizards them draft picks, for making the playoffs. I'm not mad at y'all for doing that, Ja. Thank you. And OKC, we going to see if you actually can close this thing out. Joe?
OKC in a sweep. I call 5 because I said they can win 1 at home, which I agree with you, Tomo. If John would never got hurt, they would have won at least 1 game, maybe 2. And Carl said he wrong, but I see what he's saying. I do too. Like, if I'm John Morant and we up 77, 31, something like that. So 77, it was up by a lot, like 29 points, something like that. If you up by that many points, and you get hurt and they come all the way back and win, and then then you win they beat you by 2 points without you the next game, I'm feeling like, yo, if I never got hurt, we could have made this a series. And I feel him. And I know he felt the same way when they lost to the Warriors about 3 years ago when he got hurt. So I get what he's saying. But OKC is just different, man. Let's go to game 1. Game 1, it was incredible. I mean, we talking about run after run after run after run. It got so crazy. The coach will call a timeout. OKC would go like on a 15-3 run. He called another timeout. And then out the timeout, they'll get a turnover and go like another 12-2 run. He called like 4 timeouts in a row trying to stop a run, and then totaled up to like a big run, like a 40-something run. They ended up winning about 51, but they got up as much as 57, I believe. So they just dominated. Game 2, same thing, dominated. But then game 3 comes, like you said, what will happen and all that stuff. But game 4, who I want to talk about the most, Alex Caruso. when you watch game three, Alex Caruso scored a lot down the stretch, and he was elite defensively like he always is. But game 4, his fingerprints are all over game 4. We talking about he was guarding Jaren Jackson Jr. And it was one instance, right? When Dennis Scott, he was like the sideline reporter for the game on game 4. And he talked to Jaren Jackson Jr. out of the half. And then he reported to Candace. He said, Candace, I talked to Triple J, and I said that you got Caruso on you. When you have a smaller guy on you, shouldn't you be more in the paint? He said, 3D, as long as I get the ball, I'm good. And Candace, his first shot attempt was a 3-point shot. I was like, dang. Straight carried him on national television. But anyways, Jaren Jackson Jr. need to hit that paint more. He does. Caruso is guarding you going to paint. I don't get it. But Caruso was a big thing. Hartenstein, game 1 and game 2. That push shot was, he had like 16 points in the first half, and in game 1, just off the push shot. Floater. SGA didn't really play well this series for real. He played well in game 4. Game 3, he was okay. He didn't shoot well. He did get his points, but game 4 is when SGA really was on. Like he looked like Kawhi Leonard in that game 3 when Kawhi Leonard didn't miss for in the first half. That was SGA in game 4, and SGA was clutch down the stretch to close the game out. But the thing I've been saying about OKC, they got defenders everywhere. SGA, Jalen Williams, Pitbull. When these runs happen with OKC, a lot of it is because of J. Will defense. I mean, still out the state, he's a Pitbull on defense. Chet Holmgren played well. What I like about Chet Holmgren, he don't demand the ball, but he still get heads within everything, within the flow of the game. Right, he's a mismatch. Aaron Wiggins off the bench. Isaiah Joe off the bench. Caruso off the bench. Lou Dort. Lou Dort is shooting great in this series. Lou Dort. How many threes? I'm sorry, y'all. Lou Dort hit. I'm sorry. Where we at? Oh man, it ain't showing me. Lou Dort. He hit. Oh, he was 6. He shot poorly from 3 the last 2 games, but the first 2 games was really good. He only had 6 threes, but he shot poorly the last 2 games. That's what happened. But this OKC team is dangerous. I do want to give a shout out to Scottie Pippen Jr. He played well. These last 2 games, especially when Ja got hurt, he stepped up. I know game 3, the first 2 games he was struggling. Game 3, he started off hot and then he kind of cooled down. Game 4, almost the same thing, but then he got hot again in 4, but then he ended up fouling out. So I do want to give him his props for balling out. He showed some promise with the Grizzlies. A guard, if they end up keeping Ja, a guard they can have next to Ja. And lastly, I want to say this. I know a lot of people talk about get rid of Ja Morant. I don't think the Grizzlies should get rid of Ja Morant. I don't. I don't think the comments he made after the game is like crazy. I mean, you might say like, okay, it's crazy, but it's not detrimental to the team like the gun stuff. Like people are tying what he said at the end of the game to all the other stuff he got in the drama. No, that's different. That's just him being confident in himself. I have no issues with him saying that because they were up by basically almost 30 when he was in the game. So why he can't feel that way? You up by 30 and 40 at home. We go home our first game. We getting our lick back basically, and I get hurt. So I'm not mad at that for real. So I think they should keep Ja Morant and move forward. But the head coach, I mean, I can't even evaluate him because OKC was just so much better.
And you got to remember the head coach was the interim head coach. They fired the head coach before the playoffs started.
I think they might keep him though. Yeah, tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm. Joe, you brought up Jaren Jackson Jr. This guy who was considered a defensive player of the year candidate only averaged 5 rebounds per game in this series. 5 rebounds. That's all you can get, Jaren Jackson Jr. 5 rebounds a game. You can't even average a double-double. That's not good. I think that's probably the one they probably need to look at trading. If anything, Josh should stay for sure. Or even Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane didn't have a good series. Not one player on the Memphis Grizzlies averaged 20 points this entire series. Not one. Now we had 2 that averaged 18. And guess who was the 2? Ja Morant, who got hurt, and Scottie Pippen Jr. Not Jaren Jackson Jr., not Desmond Bain. The two guys that are known for being scorers on this team. In that last game, Joe, the Grizzlies had 22 total turnovers. That turned into 32 points for OKC. They had 32 points off turnovers. That's crazy.
I gotta disagree. I don't think they should trade Jaren Jackson Jr. though. You know, I don't think they should trade him.
What I'm saying is, if they're going to trade someone, maybe that's who they should look at.
I mean, obviously over Ja their best, yeah. Obviously, but he their second best player. He be holding the ship down when Ja get hurt every time. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta give him his props. And he's actually performing better than what we all expected him to be. He needs to rebound more. I'm with you with that.
Okay.
He needs to be rebounding more.
I couldn't tell with that.
But I do think that he need to be used differently. You know what I mean? Like the way he's being used. Like he's on the wing. Like
he shouldn't be on the wing.
He could.
He could, but what I'm saying is he needs to be in the paint a little bit more. He really does.
Yeah, like not just that. Like he could be on the wing, but drive more. If you got Caruso on you, like stop settling for three a lot. He's like he turns to like a catch and shooter a lot on his team.
He does.
Normally when players do that sounds like it came from coaching or upstairs that they asked them to do that more. Like I said, I think because Edie was down there, they was trying to do that 4-1. And technically, like you said, if you got a mismatch, you drive it all day. But I'm with you on that one. And also, Dave, depends on who they get back for Jaren Jackson. Like if it's somebody making a call, I see where you on, but it depends on what you get back from it. Like just don't take anything. Don't get Kuzma.
Oh no! I'm not saying take anything. You got to get something. The guy was he was a defensive player of the year candidate. You got to get something back.
Yeah, Dave. You got to think about it. Memphis has always been a good defensive team, and mainly is because of your boy, Jaren Jackson Jr. So you take him out that lineup, bro. I get it. He only got 5 rebounds a game. He need to do more, but he's very valuable to this team. This series, it's hard to see it because OKC was just better. It was just better.
That's why he only averaged 5.
Wow.
You're Spartan.
Yeah, he confirmed this. I was smiling. Oh, yeah.
I was so lost at first. I was like, what? But OKC, Joe, you said OKC's defense was just phenomenal in this series, man. Not even just Lou Dort and Jalen Williams. I mean, I don't know if it's Kassan Wallace or Kason Wallace. He came off the bench and had some plays over defense. Like this team,
Kentucky,
it's just full of defenders for real. If you look at it, everyone on this team plays defense. Yes. That's one thing that's really great about this team is everybody plays, and no one talks about the coach enough. No one talks about the coach enough because this is what coaching does. Coaching is when everyone on defense is playing defense. That's effort. Defense is it's a skill you got to have, but it's mostly effort. It's mostly effort and heart. And this entire team plays really good defense. Shat was getting key blocks in the fourth quarter in the clutch. And then you had, like you said, Jalen Williams was getting key steals. Lou Dort was getting key steals. Like this team was playing phenomenal defense throughout this series, man. They caused a lot of problems for Memphis. And that's what I saw. I knew that would happen. That's why I felt like this would end at 5, but they got the sweep. 6-5 don't matter. All I know is all I know is that I knew that OKC would win this just because they're just the better overall team. And then when you look at Memphis early in the season, but leading up to the playoffs, they couldn't beat a team above 500. So there was nothing that they did to show me that they could beat OKC in the first round. So
I do want to say this real quick, Tom. I know you gotta move on. But when I was younger, I was like, 17, 16, 18. We used to go around different neighborhoods and play basketball, a possum court, all that. We used to go around that time. We whoop on y'all a little bit, but anyways. But
you said he was saving the shots and you just gonna throw a shot.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We used to play town hall. Y'all know what's up. So we used to do that. We used to go around neighborhoods, play basketball. And my man Ron used to always say, let's run them. Because we all had young legs, we all were fresh, you know what I mean? And then we ran. So we got a lot of points in fast break, and that's OKC. Everybody's young. And when you watch OKC play, they feel like they never get tired. They constantly moving, they constantly running. And then the guy who's not so young, Caruso, he's the guy who's like, who don't like, he goes the extra mile every single time. Like, those are guys you want on your team. I mean, I'm talking about he's so smart on defense and he risks his body. I can't even explain it. Like, that's how I am to defender. Like, you ever play with, they play with me, but you ever play with me, like, I take defense seriously, right? So, like, I go the extra mile. Huh?
I don't know. They might not want to see all three of us out there then, because I do the same thing.
Okay.
No games.
You know, I try the little things I try to do. I try to, you know, and that's Caruso reminds me about, like, if I had to compare anybody in the NBA my defense, it would be Caruso. I'm like, dang, that's how I be. You know, I'm not as good as Caruso, obviously, but that's how I be thinking. So Caruso, I said in the off season when we talked about the biggest signings, go back and watch the tape. I said OKC. I said Hartenstein and Caruso, they are not stars, but to me, they were the biggest additions in the offseason. I said that.
We talked about it when they made the trade. He was like, we don't know what the Bulls is doing here. They just gave him another weapon to go off and win.
Crazy.
And if you Caruso, I'm Pat Bev. When we win, I'm what?
Hey, all I know is around my way they call me the glove, so you know who that is.
Okay.
I'm very paid, so I'm just letting you know. I'm already know.
Hey, well,
Teddy, you don't want this smoke. I'm telling you this right now.
I'm not gonna lie, Dave. Your defense remind me of De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox, like, where I know we gotta go. Like, I would dribble past Dave.
He didn't see he didn't see it yet. We'll go ahead and finish your comment.
I would dribble past somebody. Like, I would dribble the past Dave, and Dave's arms long enough, and he would still like reach around and still get the ball. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how respect. That's how Fox is. Fox be. That's why he led the league still. I mean, I'm messed up, man.
Hey, I'm letting you know. I could block a shot like D-Wade too. Just letting you know. I block shots too.
No, they defender. He a defender.
Teddy.
I mean, you remember you saw what I did to Ty brother. 11-2.
Oh, come on. Oh man.
You saw that? Just saying. But yeah, that's really all I had to say about the Grizzlies, man.
No, that's cool. Because Teddy said all this talk, you better suit up. And I was thinking the same thing because they needed you last night. They definitely needed you last night because these are the wine and gold wipeout. Now, Cavs win by 55 to sweep the Heat to finish off a lopsided series, and they needed some form of defense. I don't even know what was going on. It's kind of like when Patrick Ewing starts sweating, you just can't stop it, and that's what the Cavs look like. So, Dave, go ahead, Dave. Just go ahead. Just go ahead, do your thing.
Yo. This.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
This right here was the reason why I did not want us in the playoffs. This is exactly why. They fought hard to get in the playoffs just to get swept. What was the point? What was the point of getting here if you was going to put up that piss poor effort in the last two games? I understand that we lost by 55, but you lost by 30 the game before. So, I mean, you got smacked at home twice. And Tyler Hero, you, for sure, 4 points, 4, that's all you can get in a do-or-die game at home, 4 points. Not only that, you were the one that was also talking smack to Darius Garland Jr. because he said that they attack you. Tyler, everyone attacks you. You know that. Your defense is trash, Tyler. Your defense sucks. You don't play defense, Tyler. You're not that good a defender. You get steals every now and then. I get that. But you're not a defender. Every team's game plan is to make sure that if you're on them, that they attack you. That's been known. It's been known. It was like that when Jimmy Butler was here. It's no different. It's worse now because you don't have Jimmy to save you. And you came out with the quote saying that, we need Jimmy Butler there. Yes, we know that. We know that we needed Jimmy Butler. I and a few other Heat fans, some other ones disagree, but you clearly see the difference with Jimmy with the Warriors and Jimmy and with us without Jimmy. You clearly see the difference, which is why Joe now considers Jimmy Butler a superstar. I was saying this when Jimmy Butler was in Miami, but that's a conversation for another day. Tyler, you can't get on the podium and say we're not going to lose 4-0. And that's what you do in the last game.
What more do you want from me?
And yes, Carl, it was both of us that argued that down about Jimmy Butler being a superstar. But you cannot do that in a game at home where Miami needs you the most. Who's the scorer on the team? It's you. You're the scorer on the team. Not Andrew Wiggins, not Davion Mitchell, not Bam Adebayo, not Khalil Ware. You were the one that put up 33 points in the first 2 playoff games. And I want to say this too. If it wasn't for Nikola Jovic in game 2, we would have stole that game in Cleveland. Now, we still would have lost the series, but we would have at least gotten a game. We couldn't even get that. So, Tyler Hero, man, there needs to be some changes in Miami. Absolutely changing. I've been saying this for a while now. I've been saying that Pat Riley needs to be gone because he needs to. He does not have it anymore. He may have the basketball knowledge. He knows how to talk to people and stuff like that. He knows how to run. He knows how to work the front office. He knows how to run a team and everything. But at the end of the day, how can we be a top 5 organization that players want to play for, but we can't get nobody? It makes no sense. We can't get one person. We got Jimmy because didn't no one else really want him.
You sure about that?
Philly pretty much let him go. You know how many stars who our names been linked to, but they went somewhere else? DeMar DeRozan went to the Kings. Kevin Durant went to Phoenix. Kyrie went to Dallas. James Harden went to the Clippers.
Dame
went to the Bucks. And now I'm hearing, you know what? They waiting on Giannis. I want to hear that. I want to hear that.
Yeah, not this mic.
Giannis. You couldn't get KD. You couldn't get Kyrie. You think we gonna get Giannis? Come on, man. This is ridiculous. That was the worst ever. Y'all remember that episode where we talked about heat culture? And people wanted to know what was heat culture. Heat culture is not quitting. They quit in that game. They quit. They didn't even give enough effort to play to say that they wanted to be in that game. And Giannis not gonna doesn't want to go to a team that quits like that. Who wants to go to a team like that? You know what else attracted Jimmy Butler coming to Miami? When we went 31-10 after we had a terrible record just the season before, and we ended the season 41-41 because we went 31-10. That people are attracted to stuff like that. You give an effort when everything is on the line. Not that. And Bam, you know what? I don't even have a lot of bad things to say about you, Bam, because you at least played somewhat of a defense, but you played terrible in that game too. There are only a few players in this team that I would like to keep. Davion Mitchell is one because he represents heat culture with the way he plays, especially on defense. Khalil Ware, I think, should stay. And I'm okay with Bam staying. Tyler, you had a good season, but you may have to go. depending on
please. Get out of here.
depending on what we're going for. If we're going to go trade,
Okay.
if we're going to trade for a player, you're the one that you were an all-star this year. You won a 3-point contest. You had 2 really good games in the first 2 games in the playoffs. But after that, I mean, I don't know. I think it depends on who's more valuable. But I don't know. Tyler Hero cannot be your best player on a team that wants to compete for a championship. It just can't happen. He has to be your second or third best. He cannot be your best. And that's the same thing with Bam Adebayo. He can't be your best. He has to be your second or your third best. Neither one of these guys are superstars. It's not it. Pat need to go, and maybe Spo needs to be the president. Maybe need to put Spo in the front office and have him hire a coach. I don't know. But Pat, we're not getting anybody as long as Pat Riley is in the office. So Heat Nation, you can forget it. It ain't happening. We're not getting Giannis. We're not getting whoever you think is going to come to Miami. It ain't happening as long as Pat Riley's there.
How about them Cowboys?
Oh, my bad. Y'all talking about the Miami Heat. Go ahead, Joe. That sounds like the Cowboys, man. That's crazy.
Hey, this is crazy. I couldn't
Dave
believe
smacking his mic is crazy. That was crazy.
it was. It went upside down and everything like this whole series. Because I thought they were gonna win at least one game. Like Dave, I get it. We both, all 3 of us, knew they weren't beating the Cavs. Knew that. But he coacher. He coacher. I'm like, they're gonna get one and make it competitive. I said, man, I don't want the Hawks in. I want Miami Heat in. So they can get at least one. I mean, I know at least Ice Trey would have gave me 1 game winner. That's what he does in the playoffs. He gives us 1 game winner. But the first 2 games, I'm like, okay, they were competitive. The first game, what happened? Competitive the whole game. They kept getting the lead from 7 to 12, 7 to 12, and then Tyler Jerome happened. I mean, Tyler Hero, can I have this dance? My man had 16 points in the 4th quarter, and probably like 12 of them were on Tyler Hero, and Tyler Hero had 4 points in the whole second half. Can't happen. Second game happens, right? They getting blown out. Miami Heat makes a run, comes all the way back. Tyler Hero has his best game. They lose because Donovan Mitchell, he went crazy. He had 17 points in the 4th quarter. Hey, he's a really good player. He did his thing. But we going back home. I'm like, bad. And then the next 2 games, Miami Heat, they lose in a combined score 262 to 170. They almost lost by 100 points, y'all, in 2 games. This is ridiculous. Shout out to DeMarcus Cousins. They were outscored. Don't remember, do y'all know this? In game 4, if the Cleveland Cavaliers would have never scored, they would have still beat Miami in game 4. That's how bad they beat them. Right? So, how many points was it again? What was it?
55.
55.
Oh, 55. My bad, 55.
You know,
We
55,
watched
bro.
OKC. Better be 55 to 64. But anyway, look.
The Wizards.
But look, though, they had 55 points. My man lost by 55. It's different. But anyways, this is basketball. That's crazy. But look, the thing is, you messed me up, Tomo. All right? But anyways, all right? That's what I was saying.
It was going home.
In the 4th quarter, they were outscored in the last 2 games 63 to 24 in the 4th quarter. So they were already getting blown out throughout the game, and in the 4th quarter, they are still getting blown out, which is ridiculous. So should I call it a Heat culture or the Jimmy Butler culture? Because when Jimmy there, it's a whole different team. Jimmy leaves, playoffs come, I can't recognize the squad. I didn't know this was Miami Heat. Like you said, Dave, they quit. Couldn't believe it. I was in the mall with my wife. We shopping and stuff. And I said, you know what? Let me check the score. I go on ESPN. They were down by like 30. I'm like, dang, okay. It's happened game 2. I get home. I turn the game on. They were down by like 50. I'm like, yo, how? Like, the Miami at home on game 4. I saw the Grizzlies without Ja take OKC to the end, literally. And then when I'm watching the Heat game, it's the end of 4th quarter. I see Darius Garland in some jeans. I'm like, hold up, Darius Garland didn't play. I was like, come on, bro, this is crazy. And you said how many points? Tell me about 4 points. Man, come on, man. So Dave, I'm with you. What y'all gonna do? Because Pat Riley gonna try to get Giannis for what? He gonna try to give up Davion Mitchell. I mean, who else? I will say Highsmith, but he in love with that dude. He ain't trading him. I mean, he gonna try to get pennies on the dollar for Giannis. Like, what you gonna give up? Cause you know how he's stingy.
Y'all got picks.
So, he said what?
They got some
One.
picks.
And this year, we got one this year.
What picks he got?
Some future picks.
You got future picks, Dave?
Yeah, we got some future picks.
They got Duncan Robinson. They could put some stuff together.
Duncan Robinson.
I said put some stuff together. I ain't saying just him. They got players they can pack.
His contract might be up soon because he sent that contract back in the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So he might walk. So
Joe, I gotta say something though.
He culture. There you go.
Don't disrespect he culture though. Hold up, Joe. Hold up.
As soon as he said
Don't disrespect he culture. I understand what you're saying. It's not Jimmy Butler culture. It's Heat leadership culture. That's what it is. We don't have that kind of a leader in there to continue to go with Heat culture because they've been trying to force it onto Bam since Jimmy Butler got there or since before Jimmy Butler got there. So it's just not there because we don't have that kind of a player. Remember, Heat culture was there before Bam even got there. We had Hassan Whiteside was there, and we still had Heat culture there. So it's not that we need somebody like. It's not that it's just Jimmy Butler. Period. Heat culture has been a part of this since Pat Riley got there. But Jimmy Butler was very important to Heat culture for these last 4 or 5 years because without him, we wouldn't have gotten to where we were. So I absolutely agree with that. But Jimmy Butler is not Jimmy Butler culture. It's Heat culture. It's just that we need a leader to continue to breed to send out that message of Heat culture.
So Jimmy Butler was like that. Yeah, he was like
he was perfect. Jimmy Butler was. If I look at all the leaders, all the players that played for Heat culture, Jimmy Butler fitted perfectly. Honestly,
not LeBron.
No.
He said
Mario Chalmers? Alonzo Mourning?
Zoe, yes, but I'm saying if you look at someone who's because it's not based on having like a star or a superstar for real. He coaches like no matter who you got, you just
like has one.
Like
Perfect.
yes.
Yep.
It's just that Jimmy Butler was a really good player in the playoffs. So it was like that's what represents Heat culture. So playing like that, it's like, yeah.
Like you gotta pack your lunch because it's gonna be a long day when Jimmy show up.
Before you move on to Jimmy, you know what that series remind me of? Y'all watch Baby Boy? When Carey stole his bike?
Oh, yeah, he beat him with the belt. Wow.
That's what it was, bro.
You talking about after him and Sweet Pea got him in the park? Okay, yes. I thought you talking about when because Tyler Hero sounded like Jody when he walked out the liquor store. So y'all gonna take my bike? And then they beat him up.
Yeah.
What happened? I'm like, bro, what happened to you?
That's exactly what Tyler Hero gonna do. But the thing about it is, he actually helped him go get his stuff back. P in Miami just gonna take another nap. So I don't know what you're gonna do, Tyler Hero. It's gonna get ugly for you.
Oh no, he was awake for that game. He was up. He watched that blowout. He watched that bloodbath that we was a part of. He watched us get tore new one.
Well, Dave, I mean, you got 121 and 100, 121 to 112, 124 to 87, 138 to 83. He had to watch all 4 of them games and just had to sit back and be like, this ain't enough.
I hope he looked at it and said, I need to retire. That's what I hope he saw when he saw that. Because he needs to retire. Pat Riley ain't it no more. He needs to just give it up. Because he hasn't shown nothing lately to say that he's a good president. At the end of the day, is what have you done for me lately? The last thing you did was get Jimmy Butler, and that wasn't enough.
Hey, Mark, that's one of my favorite hood comedies. So I would know that like the back of my hand. That's like watching a Martin episode. But but talk about a team that fired a head coach that took them to the playoffs, and then they turn around and still show you that they could be a dominant team. I mean, I know we talked a lot about the Heat, but you gotta give the Cavs some props here too, because they like, look, a lot's been talked about in the Eastern Conference. They've been talking about the Celtics. Some people talking about the Knicks. Some people talking about. You can't talk about the Bucks right now because the Pacers is just doing their thing. But I mean, I don't know the score of the game right now, but the Pacers is stepping up. So when you talk about teams in the East, the Cavs has been slept on, and they just like, all right, so let me come out here and show you all what we're made of. And I just read down the scores for each of the games. Granted, Dave didn't want his team to go into the playoffs because he knew what they were going up against, but they made a statement. And it's kind of funny that this team got swept, and also Memphis. Both of the playing teams that made it, that had to go up against the 1 seed, both got dominated in almost majority of the games outside of the one where Ja had them up 30, but we talked about that just now. So to put up 55 points in a playoff game, that's a way to make a statement and wake the East up and say, hey, look, tied at 75. Thank you, Carl. And to put up 55 in a playoff game against some would say a lesser opponent is letting people know we're ready to move on and who's next. And I think if I got the bracket right, they would play the Pacers, right? No, they would play the Knicks.
Yep,
If they beat
the Pacers.
They would play the Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And because if the Pistons win, they would play they would end up playing the Celtics or Orlando, however that plays out.
And the Pacers
so let's say they move on. When they move on, do you see the Cavs coming out of the East?
So I think people should put more respect on their name.
Absolutely.
Because Boston, they have some flaws, but Orlando cannot exploit them flaws because they can't score. They can't shoot. The Cavaliers are the Boston Celtics made the most threes, but the Cavs are the best 3-point shooting team in the NBA foul percentage. The Cavaliers made 12 threes in a row, I think, against y'all in game 2. They made 12 threes in a row in the second quarter. It was crazy. So, and they have depth just like Boston. They got size, and they got Donovan Mitchell who could turn it up whenever he has to. So, I think that they can win these.
I think they can too. That they definitely need a lot of respect, especially after what they just did to us. I mean, they made us look like we didn't belong.
They made y'all look like the Wizards.
They
made y'all look like the Hornets. Let me stop disrespecting my team. They made y'all look like the Hornets. Yeah, the Hornets the worst team in the NBA. I'm tired of y'all disrespecting the Wizards.
Man, they absolutely destroyed it. And Donovan Mitchell just showed, hey, I'm that guy in the playoffs too. We've seen him have phenomenal player performance before. This is not something that's new. We all know he don't lose in game 1.
I knew it.
So
I knew his mind.
I'm just saying the Cavs definitely deserve a lot of respect. Jared Allen played well, and Mobley. Oh my goodness!
Talk about
he made Khalil Wheeler look like a baby almost every single time he was out there.
His evolution this year is crazy,
bro.
And that's what they needed. They needed him to step up, and he stepped up this year. So I think him stepping up this year is huge for them, and I think that's going to be a telltale sign to see if they can actually move past Boston. Well, they got to get past the next round first, of course. Between they play the Pacers or the Bucks, but if they get past there, we'll see.
That's gonna be another good series for them too, because the Pacers, they're not a slouch. They definitely one of the, I think I said, scary teams or dangerous.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Because they're really good offensively, and they're stepping up a lot more defensively too.
Yeah, I said they was dangerous. That's what it was.
Yeah, the Pacers, man. It's nothing to sneeze on, for real.
I mean, you can sneeze if you want to, but Ant gonna show up. Ant been putting hands on LeBron, and I'm talking about like that old defensive style. Like, hey, bro, like where you going? Everywhere you at, you gonna know I'm here. Like, hey, bro, hey, JJ. Can we get a sub? JJ act like he didn't know how to sub his starters out in this last game. And the Timberwolves pushed past the Lakers to get a 116-113 comeback win. and dropped 43. Joe, these young Wolves, man, they starting to show their teeth. And meanwhile, Luka and Bron starting to show their old things. I mean, Joe, tell me what's going on in this series, man.
So I feel like this series is coming down to literally one thing. First, let me say this. There were 2 series that we made our predictions and that I picked because of star power. I picked the Bucks because of Giannis. Knowingly, we had an episode. I was looking at our old episode, and I said, if the Pacers play the Bucks, I'm picking the Pacers. But then I was making my pick. I'm like, yo, Giannis need to go. He lost him last year. He needs to go crazy.
I think you said that when you made the pick.
Yeah, I think he's going to go crazy, right? And then when I picked between the Timberwolves and Lakers, the star power. I mean, Luka and LeBron. There's no way they can lose to Anthony Edwards. Come on, man. You got Luka and LeBron. If the game is close, I mean, I trust Luka over Anthony Edwards. And LeBron could be clutch too. Anthony Edwards really hasn't shown that he's a clutch player. He's been one of the worst clutch players this year, all year. But what comes down to the series is a full quarter. Literally, game 1, Minnesota Timberwolves blow them out. Game 2, the Lakers were blowing them out, and Timberwolves just couldn't get back. You know what I mean? They had a 12-point lead the whole game or more. Game 3, Lakers. I mean, it's a close game, and the T-Wolves closed the deal. Game 4, it was a close game. And close the deal. Y'all know the last 2 games, right? In the 4th quarter, we laughing at Miami Heat. Tell me why the Timberwolves beating these boys in the 4th quarter 62-24. And they fans sound like that. Whining. Think about it. 62-24 in the 4th quarter last 2 games. That's the game. When the Lakers were up, I believe by 10, going into the 4th quarter, off rip, Anthony Edwards hit 3 straight threes. Boom, boom, boom. Or 2 straight threes. He was here. And JJ Redick, I know he's been doing good all year. A lot of people agree with his not subbing, right? Oh, he didn't sub nobody in the second half. He played 5 players literally the whole second half. That was a mistake. Because when you up by 10, give your guys a breather. Because that's what happened in the 4th quarter. LeBron stopped shooting. Yeah, I watched that game. LeBron stopped shooting. And then Luka also was passing the ball in the shot clock. It was one time when Luka came down, you could tell he was tired. He was dribbling. And then he passed LeBron. LeBron dribbled, gave back to him. He gave it to LeBron. LeBron shot a far 3. When somebody shoot a 3 like that, they tired. They're like, I'm just trying to get this ball out of here, right? And he breaked it. Now, so LeBron James played really good defensively down the stretch, but he did throw that bad. I feel like that turnover was really bad. But JJ Redick, that was a bad decision for him to play. Play 5 players the rest of the game when the Wolves were energetic. And I was really hitting threes. Anthony Edwards hitting threes. And shout out to Jaden McDaniels, man. Jaden McDaniels, man. First of all, game 3, it was him. In game 3, Jaden McDaniels had 30 points. He had 30 points and 5 rebounds, and he's shooting 59%. And what I like about Jaden McDaniels, he's guarding Luka full court. He's guarding Luka constantly. When they try to set a screen, he's fighting over the screen like, get out of here. I'm on Luka the whole time. Don't get me wrong, Luka's still getting buckets, but he's making it tough for Luka. Luka is nothing's easy for him at all. So the Timberwolves, man, I'm more like, yo, I said this was the most mismatched series. And I was so wrong. 100% wrong. I mean, 1,000% wrong. I was too wrong. Well, no, I was actually right because no, I am wrong about that. I'm tripping. The most mismatched series. This out of the 4 games we picked. This not including the one and 8 games.
Yep.
All right. So we all know those are mismatches, right? But I said this was the most mismatched series, and I was 100% wrong. I think the most mismatched series is not a 1-8, it's the Bucks and Indiana Pacers series, too. That's the most mismatched series because of the coaching. But shout out to the Timberwolves, man. Anthony Edwards emerging. I know a lot of people trying to put him up with Luka right now. I still want to do that. I think people are living in prison in the moment But Anthony Edwards is becoming a playoff legend if he gets a ring. If he gets a ring, he will be a playoff legend because he's knocking out legendary people. So shout out to him.
And Joe, I was just about to say, if you can I will give you a nod to when you went live and you said it about Ant and all the people that he's beaten in the playoffs, all the people that he's putting out. I mean, a lot of people put Bradley Beal out the playoffs, Joe. So that was just one name that I was trying to tell you. You didn't have to say that name. You could have just
Stop
said
being at the
Devin Booker.
Wizards. Oh no, never mind. That's Bradley Bill. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said you could have just said Devin Booker or just the Suns, but you ain't have to say and. You know what I mean? He's just there for the ride. Never seen nobody smile when Steph shoot a three and you losing. That's insane. But anyway, right? This series here, I'm with you on that one, Joe. I think I picked it because of the star power and how the Lakers. I was prisoner of the moment. I'm gonna say in this when we picked the series, especially to say Lakers in 5. I should have more so went with my heart on this one because I had a feeling that Ant was gonna have a grudge. He already has a grudge as far as the league saying that he about being the face, and you see what LeBron said about it early in the season about how he agree with Ant, and I think he really looks up to him as far as just like saying, hey man, this kid is actually playing the game the way that we want to. He's just out there having fun and he's just doing it the way he wants to be doing it. But then they added Luka and the defense stepped up some, and then JJ Redick was making the right calls and the right adjustments. So I was like, you know what? This Lakers team is hot. They coming in, and them don't really have that much firepower for when Luka and LeBron get hot. This is gonna be a quick one. And I guess Ant heard all of that, and he came back and said, you know what? This is gonna be either a Sprite or Adidas commercial where I heard all y'all doubting me, and then I put LeBron out. Because he said it in the starting 5. He said, I can't wait to put LeBron out. I want to check him. And he's been doing it. Last time he said that, it was about Kyrie, but this was like Western Conference Finals. Like, bro, you're a little tired now. This is the first round. LeBron a little older. So I can see why you getting at him. We were giving JJ Redick his praise for all the things that he did prior to the series. So now is the moment where we got to sit down and say, hey, JJ, you were doing some good things, but sometimes you got to sit back and reel back the ego a little bit. Where I know you want to trust your players, or maybe you look down on your bench and say, all right, I don't have the guys I can put in right now. I got to run with my 5. But LeBron's almost 50. Like at some point you gotta rotate him out, or you gotta rotate him and Luka out at different times in the game. Not saying they can't be on the court together, but you gotta rotate these two because at the end of the day, you're going to need them. Like that game, the last game y'all lost. Let's say you just rotated Bron for 5 minutes and then you let Luka get a breather, and then you bring Luka in and let Bron rest. You might win that game because one of those two have the ability to hold it down for the 5.
Mm-hmm.
But Ant, remember what you did, Luka. You remember that you put him out when he could have made the finals. Jaden McDaniels, remember that. Majority of this team was there when that Mavericks team put them out. Mm-hmm. The only person that's new is Randall. And they like, hey, we taking this personal. And you can see that with every single possession of the basketball. They like, no, this is personal. Bron, you just here. It's really your boy. Y'all rep the same smart tech, so you going to get it too. But that's just what's happening right now. And I'm not the biggest Laker fan. I'm mad that my pick might be wrong, but I'm not mad at the Timberwolves making this statement, just like the Cavs. You have to make a statement in the playoffs.
This pick run for all of us. All of us picked the Lakers to win this.
I know, but so, it's just like an R2L lock them in, man. Every time somebody think they're gonna get a lead, we all just tie. I don't get it, man. But,
I don't know. But
go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Dave.
Anthony Edwards definitely been playing really good in this series against the Lakers. But in his playoff career, he's been really good. You know, Anthony Edwards averages 28 points per game in the playoffs in his career. He also is top. He's already in his young career, already top 25 and 40-point playoff games. He's only 23 years old, y'all. He's 23 doing this right now. Minnesota only had a 35% chance to win this series before the season started. Now they have an 83% chance to win it. So it tells you how things can change, man. And last game he put up 43 points. He was 12 of 23 from the field, 14 of 17 from the free throw line. He had 9 rebounds and 6 assists. In the fourth quarter, when it came down to it, Anthony Edwards only had 3 less points than the Lakers' entire team. The Lakers had put up 19 points in the fourth quarter and had 16 by himself. That just shows you how good Anthony Edwards is right now. He He is top 5 in 40-point games before turning 24. And you know who else has been really key for the Minnesota Timberwolves? Tomo, you just named him, Julius Randle. You know, in their last 30 games, the Timberwolves have won 25 of those games in which Julius Randle had played in. 25. And Julius Randle was averaging 23 points per game in the playoffs right now. Well, 22 and a half. He's the other reason why they're up 3-1 in this series. But like Joe said, Jaden McDaniels is playing good defense. He also had a 30-point game. I think it was game 3. He put up 30 points in that game. So this, and Tom, you forgot someone else. You forgot Dante DiVincenzo. He's another person that wasn't in this. He wasn't with them last time. He was with the Knicks last year. So he trying to get some revenge too, because remember, Julius Randle and him both came from the Knicks. They sent Cat over there. They feel like they weren't wanted. The Knicks shipped them up out of there. So they got something they fighting for too. Remember, Julius Randle was on the same team as LeBron when LeBron came to the Lakers. This is all revenge in some way. And now look, he's going up against his old team, and now it looks like they're about to get bounced. He looks like they're about to get put out the playoffs by somebody that used to play for the Lakers. And this is somebody that a lot of people were questioning because Julius Randle, his defense, and of course his defense still ain't great, but you see him giving out effort there. And the thing, and this is why we criticize LeBron James so much, because he's giving out max effort on defense. And we're like, Bron, if you do this all the time, we wouldn't question it. But there are so many times where Bron just lets people blow past him. And Luka's the same thing. So, and we see them give effort when it needs to happen. That's why it needs to be continuous. They have to play better defense and just give effort. And JJ Redick can't do that. That's Tibbs' work. This is what Tibbs does. Tibbs plays his players throughout the entire game. JJ, you can't do that. You don't have those kind of players to be able to do that right now. And even if you did, this ain't the time to do that. You can experiment that in the regular season. Don't do that right now, especially when you have other guys that can come in and at least do something, have some kind of contribution. So, JJ, I hope you learned your lesson on that.
I think he did. Hopefully he can bounce back from it. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I do like Dave said. I know we gotta go to the next topic. The time is moving fast, gotta leave. But one thing about Luka Doncic, we gotta keep in mind. Think about the Mavericks team, right? When he went to the finals. What do y'all think was what was the underrated key pieces for the Mavericks? And I think I mentioned this last year. The lob threat, like Lively, Gafford, and
PJ
PJ Times, and I think it's one more. Well, anyways, Derrick Jones Jr. But mainly Gafford and Lively. The lob threat with Luka is it's easy points, easy buckets. It's similar to when you play the Warriors, and just because of their ball movement, they get easy buckets. They're gonna get easy layups, easy buckets based off the system they have. When you have Luka, you're gonna get easy buckets just off the alley oops, right? Their lob threat is Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes in this series, 8 minutes per game, 8 minutes in game 1, 9 minutes in game 2, 9 minutes in game 3, 4 minutes in game 4. And this is the lowest amount of minutes he has played in a 4-game stretch since Luka's gotten there. I don't get it. You know what I mean? So I think he should play more because it opens up the floor for Luka with the lob threat. It really does. Because Luka is still getting buckets. They still can't guard him.
Yeah, I mean, he had 38 the last game, so he's still cooking.
He's still cooking. You know what I mean? And Julius Randle, like you said, right? I know me. I crushed Julius Randle. One of the reasons why I picked the Lakers to win a series is because of Julius Randle. Julius Randle was shooting 34% in the playoffs leading up to the series. But this series, he's shooting 47% from the field and 45% from 3. 44% from 3, basically. I got to give him props. And I know you say he's playing really good defense, I feel like. Like, when he's guarding LeBron, he matches LeBron's size, kind of. And he's making it tough for LeBron James. I know he don't have a lot of rebounds based on the stats, but you look at the rebounds he's getting hard fought rebounds. Like he got one rebound when he went to the cup and they were fouling him. He missed. He gets his own rebound and he puts it up and they foul him and he started going crazy. I'm like, this dude, his effort is there. And then lastly, Anthony Edwards. How he's empowering his guys. He said Jaden McDaniels is my favorite player. Nas Reed is my second favorite player. Excuse me. It was one play when when Julius Randle he hit a three, and Anthony Edwards started getting hyped. He said, "Jumping up and down, man. I was getting hyped with them." So shout out to Anthony Edwards for being a leader that he has become, and not putting the pressure on the Wolves and keeping the pressure on the Lakers in the press conferences.
Like you said on Face, Joe, he doing something. Well, not on Face, but you said on IG Live. Anthony Edwards showing you something, Joe. Look, he probably put out Braun and Luka.
Whew. And then next round he could put out Steph and Jimmy Butler. That'd be crazy. If he do that,
definitely crazy.
He do that. I'm a Timberwolves fan.
But he got to focus on. He ain't put out Lakers yet.
Job's not finished.
LeBron came back from 3-1 lead before.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a series. Either way, yeah, the playoffs. I think the playoffs got it right. Outside of those 1-8s, the rest of the matchups.
Rest in peace to the 1-8. To the 8s.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Pat
Riley retired now.
Retired now, Pat Riley. R.I.P. I got you. But Houston, we have is it a problem? Is it a series? Is it Jalen Green? We don't know. But no, I said Houston, we have a sorry, Siri tried to talk. I'm sorry. I can't say it too much because then he's gonna start doing it again. So yeah. But Warriors up 3-1 versus the Rockets. We seen that game last night. Man, it's tough being on the East Coast, man. Joe, I don't know how you was doing it as a Kings fan, man. These 12:31 a.m.s, man, it's getting rough. It's getting rough. But Jimmy Butler returns from injury, and the Warriors speed past the Rockets 109-106 to get that 3-1 lead. Now, early in the show, I made a comment, and Mitri had something to say about it, and I was basically saying that the Warriors right now are Jimmy Butler or bust. And he said, that's crazy to say that when you got Steph on their team. But then I go back and say, look at this series. Because in this series, they have been Jimmy Butler or bust. The games that Jimmy Butler has played, the Rockets have found ways to win. It's either been a blowout or they squeeze the victory out. And that becomes because of the matchups. The one game they lost.
You meant Warriors. You said Rockets.
Yeah, I'm Warriors. Thank you, man. Thank you. I told you them 12:31 a.m.s, man. I got to take a nap, man, before the show. But the Warriors found ways to win. The one game that the Rockets actually won was the one game where Jimmy wasn't there. And that game looked like they had complete control of the actual pace of the game. It looked like they just had control of the game from start to finish. No? You don't believe that?
They won
the game he got hurt in, but the game he wasn't there.
You're right. You're right. He ended up getting hurt and they lost that game. And then when he missed a whole game 3, they won.
Yeah, the Rockets won.
You're right. Never mind.
No, the Warriors won. The Warriors won
game 3.
Yeah, Warriors won that game.
Hold on. So you're right, Tomo. Game 2, when he got hurt, they lost. But the game he missed the whole game.
They won.
They won, but they had a chance to prepare for that. But when he got hurt, they ended up losing that game.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically right. Go ahead.
Y'all confused me on my own point, but all right, cool. Regardless of the fact of the matter is, Jimmy Butler changed the way that this Warrior team is getting matched up against the Rockets. I'm getting confused because I keep talking about Warriors, Rockets. At the end of the day, look, when Jimmy Butler's out there, the Rockets have to account for 2 people that's going to score the basketball in different ways. We already know what Steph is capable of on the court, but Jimmy Butler affects the game in several different ways. He already told y'all how he feel about Dylan Brooks, and that's just one aspect of the game in which he can do it. If you watch the late possessions down in this last game here, Jimmy Butler was just finding ways to get open on the court. There was one time where what's my man? Buddy Hield was open for the 3, but somebody did the quick closeout. Jimmy was right there in the corner, lob. Now we gotta 1-point game. And then that affects the way Draymond also plays, because we see the way Draymond is trying to get under these kids' skin, and it's been working. But it's also affect the way that Draymond plays, because now you got somebody else on the other end that's going to be as aggressive as him, get under people's skin, but also can get buckets. We seen Draymond airball that 3. I don't know why he thought that was a good idea, but this is why I say it's Jimmy Butler or bust, because he affects the way in this series that this game is being played. Next series, Jimmy's definitely going to be needed. Steph's definitely going to be needed regardless of who they're playing. If it's the Lakers, if it's the Timberwolves, but we do know it's these two. But if you take Jimmy Butler away from this Warriors team, I'm not saying that the Rockets sweep this series, but it's going to be way tougher for Steph to go out there and score 50 a night because he needs someone else to help on that offensive end. Not saying that everybody else that's been putting up points can't do it, but as consistently as Jimmy Butler's been doing it. Do you expect Moody to get you 20 points a night? Do you expect AirPods to get you 20 a night? Do you think Draymond's going to do it? There's other people there. Now, some people say Kuminga can come in and do it, but again, no one's going to affect the game the way that Jimmy did against this Warriors team. And then also, Jimmy not being there gives Jalen Green a different type of game, because I don't know where the inconsistency comes with this guy, but I got a stat here, and I'm going to say it right quick. So in the 52 wins that they had, Jalen Green, he was averaging 22 points or more with a 38% 3-point percentage. In the 30 games that they lost, right? 18 points. Still shooting good from 3, still in the 30s, but you see the point differential, it drops just a little. And the fact that he only got 8 points this last game says a lot. I don't know where the inconsistency comes, but Jalen Green, you're too talented of a player in this magnitude of a game to be going through lapses like that.
I can go. Tomo, you said it all. I'm just going to elaborate more on what you already said. Number one, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler effect, man. Playoff Jimmy. This is a real thing. This playoff run is showing the impact of Jimmy Butler's effectiveness in the playoffs. You see what happened to Miami Heat, and you see what's happening to the Warriors. Now, Jimmy Butler, the key with him is he's playoff ready for the big moments. He might not do a lot throughout the whole game, but when it's time to make something happen, he's there to make it happen. All right, in the fourth quarter in this series, and he's first in points per game. So offensively, he's doing it, and he's first in steals per game. So defensively, he's doing it in this series. And this is crazy. Y'all know in the regular season, Jimmy Butler is shooting 62% from the free throw line. In this series, he's 17 from 20 from the free throw line, shooting 85%. Last night, he shot 12 for 12, including the 3 he shot with less than a minute left to go up by, I think they go up by I forgot what it was, a clutch 3. He shot a 3 and got fouled. He made 3 free throws, and then he got fouled after getting an amazing rebound at the a missed shot by Houston Rockets in the clutch. He leaped up for that rebound and got fouled and knocked down the 2 free throws. He's been clutch. But the story of the game for the Rockets has been Jalen Green, like Tomo said. In game 1, 3 for 15, shooting 20%, had 7 points. Game 2 turned out 13 for 25, took 18 threes, made 8, shot 44%, 38 points, right? Game 3, 4 from 11, 36%, 9 points. Game 4, 3 from 8, 37%, 8 points. Why did we pick the Warriors? Not because they just 4-time champions, not because they got Steph Curry, not because they got Jimmy Butler, not because they got the best player in the series, not because they got the best coach in the series. It's because we don't trust the main guy for the Rockets. Where are they going to get this consistent scoring from? That's what we were curious about. Jalen Green in the 3 games outside of game 2, he's shooting 10 for 34, which is 29%, averaging 8 points a game. That's terrible. They were not going to win the series. Jalen Green is not ready. He's not that guy right now. He might be in the future, but right now he's not that guy. So, and he don't have size. He don't have size to make up for his lack. So this is not going to happen. And the Rockets are physical, but so are the Warriors. They embrace physicality. And lastly, Sengun. Sengun was cooking when Draymond went on the floor. Because when Draymond on the floor, he ain't doing nothing. I said in the chat, I said Draymond's gonna shut him down basically. But you look at the number, I had somebody write me personally. I'm not gonna blast him out on air and say, "Oh, Sengun." You said, I looked at the stats. This is the number I was looking at before the show started. Last night, he had 6 points on Draymond Green shooting 20%, including the game tying or winning shot he tried to take on Draymond Green, and Draymond Green perfect defense, and he missed it, and Jimmy Butler got the rebound, and Draymond looked at the crowd like, he's scoring on me. What's wrong with y'all? He's scoring, but he ain't doing that on me, because Draymond was in foul trouble. That first tech he got, he should never got that tech, by the way. I don't think all he doing was pushing him out of the way like out here. The second one, y'all notice the second one should have been a tech, but they gave him a flagrant. He put his head off of his foot of what's name. So shout out to the Warriors. I knew they're gonna win the series. I said Warriors in 6, and it still might be in 6, but it might be 5-2. We'll see.
All I know is me and Carl were first to say that Jimmy Butler was a superstar. Just got to make sure I say that again.
You would know.
Absolutely.
He took the Jimmy Butler culture to the Warriors.
Wow.
Jimmy Butler culture.
Wow. Jalen Green. You know, I've had plenty of people who tell me that, but Jalen Green is a dog. I've featured him on my show multiple times. Don't be surprised if he's on the show again, but for different reasons. Joe, you mentioned the 4 games in this series. Did you know the 3 games before then, before the playoffs even started, it was also terrible. Before then, he scored 5.7 points and 2 points in the 3 games leading to the playoffs, Joe. He didn't even crack 20 total points in the last 3 games leading into the playoffs. Now, I understand it. They were already locked into the playoffs. I get that. Still, this is your best player on the team. Or he was considered your best player, at least, because it might be Alfred Sengun. He's the one that's been pretty much carrying the team, pretty much. But it's been Jalen Green. Jalen Green and Alfred Sengun. They would always say 1A, 1B, or 1A, 1. Who knows? Those would consider the 2 best guys with the Rockets. I don't recognize Jalen Green right now. He don't look like he's ready for the playoffs. And like Joe said, this is why we picked the Warriors, because they don't have the experience. We didn't know what to expect from the Rockets at this time. They were a really good defensive team, and you see that throughout the series, because you saw they pretty much contained Steph all night. But containing Steph is what caused Draymond to have key plays, what caused Jimmy Butler to put up 27 points in that game, and what caused Pods to also have a good game as well. You can't just contain Steph and let everyone else do what they want. The Warriors is actually a really good team outside of Steph. Now, I know Steph can get crazy from 3 and make some huge buckets and change the game, but you still got another guy that led a team to the finals twice when he wasn't even expected to get out of the first round with that team. You got a defensive player of the year and Draymond Green on this team as well. And you got other key players on this team that if you think about it, it's really just been 4 guys that have been making most of the plays in this series for the Warriors. It's been Steph, Jimmy, Draymond, and Pods. And Quentin Post has made some key plays in this game as well, in this series as well. But it's been mainly those 4 guys. And Jimmy Butler, y'all know Jimmy Butler tied LeBron James for the most 25-point games in the 2020s. No one else has more than Jimmy other than LeBron. They both have 32 from 2020 on to now. And why I say 2020? Because that's when he got to Miami. So since he became the guy, he showed that I can do this as well. It's just I'm not here to do it in the regular season. I'm here to show you that I can do this when it matters the most. And that's what he's doing. He also tied Jordan for the most 25-5 game, 25-5 games with 0 turnovers. Jimmy Butler had, I think, like almost 90 something touches in that game. I think it was 92 exactly in that game and 0 turnovers. Jimmy Butler's IQ is high. A lot of people don't talk about Jimmy Butler's IQ, but he has a very high IQ when it comes to playing basketball. Really good defender as well. He had 14 points in the fourth quarter when they needed it the most. And Joe, that rebound was huge. Huge. The defense that Draymond put on Sengun was huge in that. Because if he gives up that rebound, that's Steven Adams all day. Steven Adams leads the league in offensive rebounds. So if Steven Adams get that, that's pretty much it. He probably gonna put it right back up and get a bucket, or at least get a foul and get to the line. Who knows after that? But it's playoff Jimmy, man. The Rockets just don't. They also just they miss opportunities a lot. They missed 11 free throws in that game. They missed 35 free throws throughout this series. So even when they get to the line, they not making a lot. And Fred VanVleet was cooking in that game. You have to make sure you make your free throws. And if Jalen Green just puts up 15 points, they win that game. He don't even have to do 20 or 30. He don't even have to go crazy. If he just averaged 15, they would be up right now. But it's just not happening. I mean, the guys that have championship experience are showing you why it's a difference in the playoffs than what it is in the regular season. They're showing you why that most people pick the Warriors to win because they saw that they just have the experience. You got a guy who was a Finals MVP, should have been the Finals MVP twice, and a guy who led an undermanned team in the Eastern Conference to the Finals twice. You put that together, then and both of these guys are still hungry. Jimmy is especially hungry because he hasn't won anything yet. Y'all remember what he said when he got to Miami? He hasn't won anything in his career. From high school to college to the NBA, he has never won anything. So he can't call himself a winner until he wins it all. So you know he's hungry.
Not for real. And Dave, one point that you made a lot of points, but the one point that you just made about champions showing up in the playoffs in this series, Fred VanVleet is a champion. And you can see it on that Rocket side that he's the one that's showing up throughout this whole series.
Mm-hmm.
Well, consistently.
Absolutely. He's the one that
he was like good game.
He was like, man, look, in that game last night, he was like, man, look, I'm the one person that beat them in the finals. I was on that team that beat them in the finals. So I'm gonna show y'all what I got. And it's one game, but he still showed something.
And Sengun, man, he had that one opportunity to go up one, and he let Draymond stop his dribble, and he shot that weak old. I was like, bro, if you don't back him down and get in the paint, bro, you got time. Like, why are you rushing it? And then Draymond was like, yeah. I was like, well, he did make the stop, but I'm like, Sengun would have just put a little back right there.
Little something, man. Little something.
Well, we'll see how it all plays out.
We'll see.
Lock them in.
That's what they
we all lost again. I don't know, man. I think they just like to see us tied for some reason.
They do. And you want to know what's crazy? I listened to Carl's voice message, and I was like, I remember me saying something about the Warriors, and I was like, I had to go back and listen to it all the way through. I was like, I switched it and picked the Rockets.
Yeah.
So I was like, why are they favored? But hey, this is our Lock 'em In segment. Joe gonna bring up our records on the screen right here. But this Lock 'em In segment, we basically give y'all our games we pick from different sports for the prior day. So if you're watching this on Tuesday, this is for Wednesday night's game. So if you just finding this on Wednesday before 7, hey, you can add this to your parlay, or you can just add it to a single bet. But we want to let you know that these are our opinions. So when we tell you to lock them in, it's our opinion on locking them in. All right. We're not out there playing the games for you, because if we were, we would probably give you a little bit more effort than Sengun on that last play. But these are our opinions. And Joe, Who you got?
I'm gonna stick with basketball. I'm gonna take the Rockets -4. I took a pick.
No. I'm gonna go opposite. I'm going
Oh.
Warriors +4.
I'm going the opposite sport. I'll go baseball.
He said I'm done. He said I'm gone. I ain't doing
leaving.
this no more.
I'll go opposite sport. I'm taking the Braves at -1.5 against the Colorado Rockies.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm.
It's gonna be good, Joe. Yeah, actually.
I know.
It's gonna be good.
You'll be
Yeah,
locked in.
I'm away from basketball. I'm good. I'm a little traumatized. they been blowing me, man. Oh my goodness.
This might be a blowout by the Rockets.
I hope not. Let's go Warriors. Keep it close. Just keep it close. But, all right, man. Let's get on up out of here.
My last words. Great show, everybody. Shout out to the whole R2R network. Shout out to the whole R2R family in the chats. Shout out to Lambo Anlo in the intro. Shout out to my brother Ed Han with the logo. Also, I want to give a shout out to my cousin. I have a cousin named Keontae. He got drafted. He went to Rutgers, and he got drafted by the Houston Texans.
That's tight.
Yeah, so shout out to him. He was a wrestler. Now from wrestling to becoming an NFL player, it's crazy. Commanders, man, new stadium. RFK, we back.
Got Jada Days out there. Jada Days out there beating his feet. I saw it.
I saw that. I was like, y'all tripping, man. Y'all crazy for putting this up there. But that thing look nice. Y'all see the picture? Woo! I'm definitely going to that. But
you ready by 2030?
2030, yeah. No, say too much. But yeah. 2030 new stadium.
You saw something? You saw something?
I know his lights were flickering earlier. Maybe that's what he's talking about. He's trying to make sure they don't hit the lights again.
That's exactly what it was, Tomo. That's what it was. That's what it was.
My boy, the Commanders, we here. New stadium, rocking in 2030, 5 years from now. But can't wait for the season to come up. And Kings, I have nothing to say to y'all for real. We got a new GM. I mean, I'm not too excited.
Got a new coach.
We don't know.
Nah, they got Doug Christie, right?
I mean, we don't know. He said he hasn't heard anything to make him permanent.
Maybe I was reading.
But y'all got a new GM? Y'all hired a new GM?
Yeah. So we fired because we hired one like the next day. He worked with the Knicks.
That's bad.
So that's what they do is gonna fire him. So that's all I got, y'all. Pacers definitely want to trade tie. And the Pacers and Bucks are in overtime, by the way.
Oh, they are.
Bucks fighting for their life.
Yep, they up by 6. All right,
Pacers up by 6.
Nah, Bucks. Am I reading that right? Yeah, Bucks 112, 106.
Oh, yeah.
See what I'm saying? This talking about winning rings.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead, Dan.
For me, Pat Riley retired. That's all I can really say. Pat Riley need to go. I've been saying this for a while now, and I'm gonna say it until he's gone. And people gonna say, "Well, you don't know what you're missing until it's gone." Oh well, goodbye. Just go ahead and go, because another year of this, can't deal with it. So Pat Riley, please pack your bags. You're gonna get a statue in Miami and everything. They're gonna praise you for all of that, but you need to go. It's your time. Time is up. Time is ticking. And shout out to the Niners for giving George Kittle that extension. I need my tight end there. So good. Now give Purdy his.
All right, my last words is referees. I mean, you got to be better. We could say this several different sports. We could say it 16 million ways. Refs, you got to be better. I mean, I'm not going to rehash old things because the Pistons are playing right now, but refs, you got to be better because you made a call against the Lakers, and it was kind of like, I mean, well, you call that, but you don't call. It is what it is. Referees, you got to be better, especially if you actually looking at the play. I can see if you're from the other side of the court, but you got to be better. Cowboys. I mean, it's the off season. We're gonna see what we do. I'm also ready for this lottery. Y'all stole rookie of the year from me. Can I at least get the number one pick? I mean, I know Castle was balling, but hey, can Wizards get the number one pick? I'm gonna just keep saying that till we get it. And if we don't get it, I'm gonna be upset. But it is what it is. And shout out to our superstar members. I want to get that out the way because we want you all to become a member. But shout out to our superstar members. So shout out to Mike and Mike. Shout out to Tone, Taniqua, Decorius, Chris, Giovanni, Lamar, Javon, Coach Coombs, Cardo, myself, Dave, Joe, and Worm. And you, make sure you click that link, become a member today.
Charles and Mike. Charles and Mike. All right, y'all. That's all we have for y'all today. And we'll see y'all Friday at the next episode.
Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.